then on your end, whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name is Steve Tracy, and the topic I'm going to be discussing today is whether or not Facebook generally has positive psychological effects. The basic problem in this issue is that Facebook users can feel underachieved by all their friends' accomplishments that are posted online. With social media becoming such a norm in today's society, it can have a very large influence on individuals. These impacts can either be positive or negative. This particular topic interests me because I have been a Facebook user since my freshman year of high school, and I have personally been a part of both sides of the debate. And I've seen my friends impact in their daily lives by what is posted online. From all I've experienced on social media, I found myself asking, is it really worth it? To prepare for this presentation, I used the two articles from the textbook posted on D2O. One presented a yes and one presented a no. I then went online and searched on Google Scholar and used the keywords effects of social media. This presented me with two credible sources, one yes, one no, giving me a total of 4 credible sources. I then put the information to a PowerPoint and had it peer-reviewed along with the presentation peer-reviewed. My first article that advocates for Facebook having positive effects by Gonzalez and Hancock share that through a social experiment that Facebook users that view and update their profiles regularly have higher self-esteem. The highest self-esteem was seen by users that regularly update their profile. These findings concluded that selective self-presentation in digital media leads to intensified relationship formation, which also leads to influences on impressions on oneself. What makes this article very useful is that previous studies on Facebook effects only studied the effects on the user's ability to socialize, perception of oneself, close relationships, and romantic appeal. This study looked at the direct positive impacts on pure self-esteem. Self-esteem in this was measured by the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. The second article advocating for Facebook having positive effects by Lazala, Galiago, and Bucosa explains that Facebook and other social media sites can benefit users psychologically by helping to maintain connections with other people with either the same interests or just people met throughout the lifetime. They also explain that Facebook can actually help people with low self-esteem by taking advantage of Facebook's capability to bond people together. Through this, more social bonds are made, thus increasing self-esteem. My first article advocating that Facebook has negative psychological effects by Matthews explains a survey taken in Australia that shows that 28% of users have had a negative experience online. That is equivalent to about one person in each row of this classroom having a negative experience. And this percentage only increases with age. It says that 60% of adults have had a negative experience online. Most of these negative experiences are from unwanted communication, inappropriate information, and bullying or abusive messages. The second article advocating that Facebook has negative effects by Sturgeon, O'Keefe, and Clark Pearson introduced a new phenomenon called Facebook depression. This can be defined as when preteens and teens spend a great deal of time on social media and show signs of depression. This will cause the user suffering to feel a sense of isolation. In turn, this may make them turn to risky blogs and websites that could recommend false information such as substance abuse, unsafe sexual practices, aggression, or self-destructive behaviors. So I personally believe that the positive psychological effects outweigh the negative. Being in college, I have seen the positive impacts that Facebook can have. I'm able to stay connected with some of my old friends who I've met throughout my lifetime. And likewise, they're able to keep up with how I'm doing in college. And has helped to keep many friendships alive. But if Facebook was to reach a point where the negative psychological impacts outweigh the positives, then Facebook will slowly begin to disappear. Just like MySpace, this social media disappeared years ago because the negative psychological impacts outweigh the positives. However, it is possible for adolescents to reach the point of Facebook depression. When this occurs, it is simply time for that user to quit Facebook by either logging off or just turning off the computer. This debate clearly shows that not everyone is having the same experience on social media. And this debate should open people's eyes to the major psychological impact that anything you can post can have on someone else. In conclusion, Facebook is a great way to communicate and stay connected with people all around the world, but only if used properly. When social media is abused and used to hurt someone else, it can have serious psychological effects on all the users involved. For my references, thank you for listening.